This is Sway.
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 In the morning.
In the morning.
In the morning.
Shake it, body.
Wake your punk ass up. That crust out your eyes.
Hey, what up, brother? Come here, man.
My best friend.
Great was he on the show?
Yeah, he's really good. Good pick.
Right? How you doing?
Hi, Heather.
Danny, nice to meet you.
Danny Tracy.
Hey, Tracy, Danny, nice to meet you.
Dan,
What's up, Danny?
Danny Strong, man. You gotta love this guy, man. How about this, man? His vision. How about this guy right here, Heather? Extremely talented.
Yes.
Thank you.
You know, this guy is gifted even.
Okay.
I gotta come here every day. This is the best.
You have an eye for talent, man.
That's why we cast you.
That's what I'm saying. Danny Strong, man.
So we have you on the show.
Danny Strong, man. Do you have any idea, man? I've been in the business 20 years. And when I walk outside now, I have people who run up to me and say, "You're Sway." I say, "I see you. I've seen you before." "Oh, MTV. You watch MTV?" No, that's not it.
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, the radio stuff? Yeah, I do on Sirius X." Nah. Back in the day, the hip hop. Nah, you're Sway from Empire.
There you go.
So you want
We gotta
Empire.
have you back, man.
Danny,
How great was that moment, though?
Oh, man,
right?
great,
when
man.
like you're asking him and everyone's, what's he gonna say?
Yeah.
And poor Michael.
Yeah, man, it was interesting because when I had no idea what was going on, so nobody told me at that time when we filmed. Nobody told me the storyline behind Jamal. So Jussie didn't really tell me either. So and when I was asking the question, I didn't understand.
You didn't know how loaded it was?
Yeah, I didn't know what the big deal was. But maybe that's why the acting came off.
That's why you were so
natural, right? Danny, welcome to the show, man.
Thank you. So thrilled to be
pleasure.
here.
Actor, writer, and I was reading up on you, and you got a lot of inspiration from Quentin Tarantino? Is that
Well, when I was a kid, he was my video store clerk.
Yeah.
And so I was 10, 11, 12, and I would go to this local video store, and I would spend a lot of time with him. I'd spend 45 minutes, an hour, and because I was a movie buff even as a kid.
Yeah.
So he would recommend all these different movies to me, and I was in there so much they called me Little Quentin.
Little Quentin.
That was my nickname, Little
Crazy.
That's
Quentin.
crazy, right? Quentin
Oh my
Tarantino?
gosh.
Yeah, pretty wild, huh?
Yeah.
At that time, did he express that he was going to be create films, make films? That was his desire?
Yeah. He said he had already written a script. I think it was True Romance. And I remember the other clerks saying, "It's the best script I've ever read. It's the best script I've ever read."
Yeah.
And he would walk around. It was Manhattan Beach, and you'd see him wandering around. And I remember driving in a car with some people. I was like, literally 12 years old. And I said, "Oh, see that guy over there? He's a writer-director."
Yeah.
And I remember a kid in the car said, "He looks like a homeless man."
Wow, about Quentin Tarantino, right?
Yeah, because he would just be kind of wandering around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's fascinating about you? Like when you think of Empire and how Empire really kind of encapsulates this black culture of hip hop meets crime meets music mogul and family issues. And you look at Danny and he's this Jewish guy.
Hello. Hey, everybody.
Co-wrote this, right? And that shows that Jewish folks and black folks, we have a lot of parallels, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, and do people look at you like you wrote Empire?
I remember getting a lot of that on The Butler.
Yeah.
Because I wrote The Butler.
Oh, you wrote The Butler, too.
And there were...
Wow.
that's when Lee and I started working together, and there was... it was asked a lot in interviews, less so on Empire.
Yeah.
But I get it. I get
get
the
it?
sort of confusion.
So, okay, Sway.
Empire took a lot of backlash because people felt like it perpetuated a lot of negative stereotypes about black culture and what goes on in the community. Did you, when people found out that you're a co-writer, did you take the blunt of a lot of that? Or?
Well, did it get a lot of backlash?
Yeah,
I mean, do you guys
there's
feel
a
like
lot-
it's gotten a lot of backlash?
I mean,
I feel like
initially-
I've read some articles, but it doesn't. It feels like people
In the
overwhelmingly
community,
dig
a lot
it.
of folks felt like the images that were being portrayed. We were just having a conversation about, Terrence Howard's character being an ex-drug dealer turned music mogul, and that not being the blueprint of how young black kids could be successful. You got to be a drug dealer to become a music mogul type thing. So you never heard that?
Oh well, I've heard that, but I mean, there's certainly some truth in that. The Jay-Z story, which very much inspired Lucius Lyon, certain elements of Lucius Lyon, was that story.
Yeah.
So for me, I view it. I don't think in terms of, okay, we have to be careful of certain things because of certain negative stereotypes. I view it as the entire cast is African American.
Yeah.
We're gonna have all different types of characters, and we're just gonna tell good stories.
Yeah.
Right.
And we're not gonna sit here and play defense or think that our show is a representation of Black culture in its entirety.
Which it isn't. Yeah,
It's not. It's just this story. And for me, the story of people who have a some sort of criminal past or a gangster past is not individual to Black culture. It's individual to so many cultures in American society: Italian, Irish, Jewish, right? And so to me, it's an American dream story, and that this is metaphorical of so many people in America, how they rise up to power is through these means. So and I know Lee feels the same way, that our goal is to tell a great story and to do the best show we can. And so if we're sitting here thinking about, are we being insensitive and this and that? I mean, there's also, you can cross a line and just be totally inappropriate. But I don't think we're doing that at all. I think we're telling, like I said, an American dream story based in reality. There's other people, true life people, that have gone through this rise to power.
Yeah. And plus you guys make great casting decisions, so I have no problem with it.
Well, Joe Kennedy too is another. It's like there's so many examples in American culture.
Yeah, I read that Lee Daniels said his inspiration was taken from the Kennedy family, so that's true.
We talked about the Kennedy family. We talked about Jay-Z. We talked about so many different things.
Just to feed off what Sway initially said, I wanted to ask you as well, when you have these ideas and you go to your person, whoever your person is, does anybody say, are you crazy? Like, this is never going to work?
I haven't heard that in a while. I think when I came up with this idea, the first person I thought of was Lee Daniels.
Okay.
Because we had been working together on The Butler, and I thought this is perfect for Lee, and I thought of it as a movie. But if Lee had not been interested in it, then I may not have pursued it. He was my litmus test.
Got it.
And
Got it.
so I pitched it to Lee, and then he called me the next day, and he said, I can't stop thinking about it. I love it. But I think it's a TV show instead of a movie. And I said, you're absolutely right, because it's about a family, and TV shows are about a family, and we could do this week to week. And then we instantly started talking about bringing back Dynasty in Dallas.
That's
and
what
doing
it
a
feels
hip-hop
like.
version of Dynasty in
Falcon
Dallas.
Crest.
Huh?
I said Falcon Crest.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But with Shakespearean elements. And then with the hip-hop music, it would be a pseudo-musical at times. And we just started getting really excited about it really fast.
Wow. Danny Strong has joined us, co-creator, writer, actor, producer. He does
All
it all.
of it.
Swimsuit model.
Swimsuit model.
All right. And we'll talk of Empire. And did you wrote tonight's episode, right?
I wrote and directed tonight's episode.
Okay, congratulations.
Congrats.
Thank you.
You didn't. I feel like Jesse's character has to have the all-out conversation again with that guy Sway. When he decides to come out. If you think about that, right, maybe next season.
How about just an episode of Sway talking directly into camera about subjects of interest?
That's interesting.
And just do the whole episode, and we'll call it the Sway episode.
You're going for the ratings, Danny. I see what
So
you're doing.
smart.
I mean, that's we cracked it. We cracked it.
We cracked it.
Danny, something that I wanted to hear from you about is Monique. She recently wrote like an editorial, and she spoke about how she felt she was being blackballed in Hollywood. And she mentioned that she was supposed to have a role in Empire. Is there any truth to that? And she purposely didn't get it.
Well, I don't know if Lee Daniels had a conversation with Monique about it that I don't know about. I know that Lee and I were partners on this project, and we discussed Monique once very briefly, and from my knowledge, unless there was some conversation I never knew about it, we never offered her the part, and she wasn't going to be Cookie. Like, that was never something that was on the table for us. I mean, we both think she's incredibly talented and a genius, but we didn't think she was right for the part. We talked about it, and so, like I said, I'm not saying she's not telling the truth. There may have been some conversation I don't know about.
Yeah.
But as far as the conversations that I had with Lee about it was always Taraji. That was just one of our earliest ideas, and we kept talking about Taraji. And so, no, Monique, from my understanding, was never offered the part.
And she also mentioned The Butler, too. And she was supposed to play Oprah's role.
Yeah, but same exact
thing?
response.
Got it.
It was always Oprah. I don't, but by the way, Lee's very close with Monique, and maybe they did talk about it in the abstract.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I had never I had never
Been a part of
heard
that
that
conversation.
Monique was going to be in The Butler.
All right, cool.
And Danny is like, man, I'm not in that mess. My name is Wes. I'm not in that.
To the best of my knowledge, I can neither confirm nor deny said allegations.
Not mad at it.
If you want to get the inside scoop of what's going to happen tonight on Empire, call us now. Danny Strong is here, 888-742-3345, 14 minutes into the hour.
Really in love with my music right now.
Wow. And the Emmy goes to
Sway.
There it is. All right. Danny Strong is here, writer of creator of Empire, The Butler, The Hunger Games, Part 1 and 2.
Mockingjay Part 1.
Mockingjay,
yeah.
I'm sorry, Mockingjay Parts 1 and 2. I get confused with that.
That's
Danny.
all good.
I apologize.
I do too.
Yeah, do you really? Okay. And as well as other work that you've done, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and as an actor, and you've done so much work. But right now, man, Empire is the topic of conversation. Tonight, he wrote and directed tonight's episode.
Nice.
Heather B, you got an interesting question.
I do, because since we're clearing it and getting to the bottom
clearing
of
the
it
air
here,
right
we're clearing
now.
the air and getting to the bottom of it, Danny. You cleared up the Monique article, but then I read something about Taraji, and Taraji in the article allegedly said that when she got the script and she was picked for the part, she said she was not happy, allegedly not happy with Wesley Snipes potentially playing Lucius, and said that if you guys wanted her, that Terrence Howard would have to be the absolute choice. Now, is there any truth to that, maybe?
Yeah, well, so we were talking to Wesley Snipes about playing Lucius. That was the first conversation.
Wow.
Although I have to say, I always wanted Terrence Howard. I always had it in my head that Lucius was Terrence Howard. And then Lee was talking to Taraji.
Okay.
And Taraji did say that to Lee, that
Wow.
she really wanted to do this with Terrence. However, so many different things go down. That may or may not have been why it didn't work out with Wesley Snipes.
Got
it was
it.
sort of a factor, but it was those conversation. She said that right when the conversation with Wesley was kind of dwindling, and it didn't look like it was going forward anyways.
Okay.
And it was great for me because I had always been pushing Terrence Howard, and that was my choice. But I thought the Wesley Snipes idea was really cool. His first big job out of prison, that would get a ton of press. And, you got to sell tickets, right? You got to sell tickets.
Put asses in the seats,
right?
Danny.
And he's also he's a great actor,
Yeah.
and it would have been cool casting. So, so when Lee told me Taraji said that, it was perfect for me because I'm like, see, it's got to be Terrence. It's got to be Terrence.
Got
And
it.
Lee loved the idea of Terrence too, and also the studio's involved, the network's involved. It's not just two people in a room talking,
Got it.
especially at a big network show like this.
Like that,
There's
yeah.
a lot of cooks in the kitchen, but it came together really nicely, I
Yeah,
thought.
congratulations. It's a really
Thank
good
you.
show.
Yo,
Thank
so
you.
Danny, real quick before we go into this other line, so was it you who recommended me to play
You
that
know
part on the
what,
show, man?
Danny?
Yeah, that's
Right.
all.
So he knows who the Sunflowers
I wanted you
do.
to be Lucius.
Damn.
And,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened.
Yeah,
Something
yeah.
about Terrence Howard and Wesley Snipes.
I got blackballed.
Yeah.
All right.
Oscar nominees, you know.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sway.
So DB is our movie junkie, man. And he brought something to my attention.
I wanted to ask you about Philip Seymour Hoffman because he had a role in Hunger Games, and his unexpected passing was before he finished the scenes in Mockingjay Part 2, which comes out in November. So I wanted to ask you, even though his role in Hunger Games was not as big as, say, like a Paul Walker in Fast and Furious, it's still something that you have to ride around once they pass away before they finish filming their scenes. So I wanted to ask, how hard is it to kind of like shift the script and the screenplay when something like that happens?
Sure. Well, at that point, I was not involved anymore on the project. But I know the answer only because I read it in the newspaper. I'm not even giving you any inside knowledge, and based on what I know of the development process, I believe this to be true, is that what they did was they just gave his scenes that were left to shoot to other people. So there was a scene in Mockingjay Part 1 that I wrote for him, and Effie Trinket ended up doing the scene. So I thought, oh, okay, so that's what they did, is instead of doing any kind of digital thing, they just gave those scenes to other characters.
All right. Danny Strong is here. He wrote and directed tonight's episode of Empire. What can you tell us? Like, where did we leave off? They did the big performance for the investors, right?
Yeah.
Cookie and
Yeah.
And
Cookie-
the wife knows. Well, the
And
soon-to-be
Anika.
wife.
and Lucius has sex
With Cookie.
with Cookie,
And Anika
Again.
sees it.
and Anika sees it. So
This is crazy.
What's going to play out
What
tonight?
is going to happen?
Somebody getting shot?
All I'm gonna say is Lucius juggling his two women is a big part of this episode. And by the end of the episode, something will be decided.
Because Jamal ain't having it.
Something's going to be decided by the end of this episode with Lucius and his two women.
Okay, and I have to say,
It's a big Jamal episode,
it's
too.
a big Jamal episode is coming out. Jamal's community.
Big Andre episode.
Oh,
It's
wow.
actually one of those episodes where after this episode, everything's going to change for almost every character.
Wow.
Sell this show.
This is a big one.
Okay,
This is a
now,
big one.
One of the most.
I beg of you to watch.
It
Please.
will happen. Don't worry. One of the most genius additions to the cast.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, Raven Simone.
Come on, right?
Raven Simone, man,
Yeah.
like one of the
Well
most
done.
talented people, hands down in the game.
Yeah, yep.
What's gonna happen with Ray? When are y'all gonna put the spotlight on her character?
So she will be back.
Okay.
Yeah, there's going to be a pretty big episode with Raven Simone. And once again, it's all going to go down.
Is the baby really Jamal's kid?
I can't just tell you these things.
Just
It's
whisper it.
not.
Okay, but-
I'm not here to just give this stuff up. You got to see the show.
Oh man, that's why I thought you came. Yeah, people said you're gonna give something up.
And then, well, you know.
All right. We gotta take one call.
Yeah.
We'll take your calls after this. Danny Strong is here. 888-742-3345. Sway in the morning, Shade 45. 26 minutes into the hour. Co-creator and writer for the Fox series Empire is here. Danny Strong, and he's giving us the insight right now.
Should we get in the inside? He cleared it. Sway trying to make me seem like I ain't watch it.
Did you watch it, Heather? What was the episode lastly? This is really not about me. It's about Empire.
Sway's Empire. That's going to be the name of the show.
Yeah, it's a spinoff. How well were because the ratings each week keep increasing, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
It's a phenomenon. It's crazy.
It's ridiculous,
Yeah.
right? So last week, how many viewers was it? 13?
We went up to, I think, 13
13 million, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Now the week before that, what was it?
12 and a half or something.
And that was the highest to that point, right?
Yeah, each week it's gone up.
Man, 12.5 million had to be.
I keep telling you.
I love that applause. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Kelly is in Texas. Say
Hey,
hello to
Kelly.
Danny Strong. Kelly, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, what would you like to say?
I would like to say when I first started watching Empire from the first episode, it brought me back to with Tasha B. Henson and Terrence Howard in Hustle and Flow.
Hustle and Flow.
Right?
Yep. And perhaps that chemistry they established on that set probably helped on this set, right? Is that how it works?
Well, the chemistry between them is electrifying.
Yeah.
And they're both as talented as two actors could be.
Yeah.
So not only do you have these two genius Oscar-nominated actors together, but they also have this fantastic chemistry with each other. And I think some of it does come from them working together on Hustle and Flow and getting along. And Taraji saying, you got to do this show with Terrence Howard.
Yeah.
And clearly and on set, it's clear they just have a lot of affection for each other.
Absolutely. We got Colvin from Virginia on the line. Go ahead, Colvin. What would you like to say?
Hey man, love the show. You guys do a great job in the morning.
Thank
and
you.
even though
Thank
Danny isn't African American, I think it's kind of interesting, y'all. In 2015, all these shows are driven by African Americans. We see Empire. We see How to Get Away with Murder. We see Scandal.
Yeah.
We see what Tyler's doing with the have and have-nots. Black people can drive shows. People will watch the shows. The networks can make money. It doesn't have to be on HBO. This is on free TV.
Yeah.
That's incredible, y'all. Think about the images that are out there that people are seeing that they don't have to pay and get a cable box for.
Yeah.
You know, they got to just turn on Fox or ABC. You know, if we can get CBS to put some more African Americans on this stuff, LL on NCIS, I think we'd be doing something. But great job with the show, Danny. I love it. It's intoxicating. It's good to see black folks can tell great stories and great characters.
I like
Yeah,
this guy.
thank you so
Well
much.
said.
I
Yeah.
very well said, and I think you're exactly right. I think the success of these shows is only going to create more diversity programming, particularly from what I understand, pilot season this year, which is when they shoot all the first episodes of each series that they may put on the air. There's been something called the Empire Effect, where they're now trying to cast as many African-American actors,
Wow.
trying to get them in more shows.
Black is the new black.
Black
Let's
is the
go.
new
New
black,
black. I
right?
like that,
and so
Chris.
it's not this distant effect. It's literally happening immediately.
Well, she
And I think
came-
Shonda Rhimes is the big trailblazer here.
Yeah.
I mean, the success of Scandal and
Get Away
but,
with It,
yeah, but even before when we pitched Empire, Scandal was this huge new hit, and it was extremely helpful for us
Yeah.
to sell Empire because of Scandal. So she's a true trailblazer.
That's awesome.
Whose idea was it to cast crazy? I love Courtney Love in it. She's a crazy mess. Whose idea was that?
Any genius piece of casting idea like that is coming from Lee Daniels.
I thought you was gonna have a Sway moment and say so.
No. Lee, that was. I mean, we had a list of names. And Lee was just adamant that Courtney was the right person for it, and I thought he was right. I thought it was a great choice.
Yeah.
Danny Strong is here. Join us for Celebrity Wire, Danny. All right.
Where did you get my sex tape from?
Tracy actually made that.
Yeah.
All right. What?
You want a copy, Danny?
Yeah, I'll take it.
All right, so here's a real quickie. Bill Cosby cannot escape the madness of these women accusing him of sexual abuse. He's at 20 and counting, and now we got one more to add to the list. There's an actress / model. Her name is Heidi Thomas. She wants us to go back to the year 1984. This is when she says she was taken advantage of by Mr. Cosby. This is an account that's really familiar to us now. She says that she was instructed by her agency to visit him while he was performing at a hotel. She was going to get some pointers on acting. She performed a monologue in which he told her to read as a drunk person. She said that she had never drank before. He was like, how are you going to play an intoxicated person if you've never been drunk? And according to her, he gave her a glass of wine, and after some minutes, she became rather foggy, and she ended up passing out, and she woke up to find Cosby naked in bed with her, forcing himself inside her mouth. Oh! And we are not done. Richard Pryor's widow is blasting Bill Cosby for being dirty. She had a lot to say while she was on a podcast. Listen to this.
It was a well-kept secret that Bill fucked everything that moved. This kind of shit that we're finding out about is, beyond. I mean, I wasn't aware of this kind of business. There are people in the business who were aware of it, and they're coming out now, too. I think there are now 34 women, by the way, who have stepped forward.
Yeah.
So, of course she knew.
Yeah.
Of course she knew. Why is she going for the okie doke, as Richard would say? That's anybody's guess. I'm not going to say.
Danny, you guys.
Am I supposed to comment on this? I prefer not to.
Has anybody ever forced anything in your mouth?
No.
I'm just thinking, Sway. They do great casting in Empire.
Exactly.
Lucius is a nut. Would you guys consider casting Bill Cosby as his father?
I can't. My gut instinct is a definitive no.
Okay.
And if you could do an echo effect, that would be great. No.
Okay. I'm just asking.
Wow. Is Foxy Brown slated to be on? The rapper Foxy Brown slated to be on Empire?
Not as of. I can't comment.
Oh, we got one.
No.
Has it been discussed?
Everything's been discussed.
Oh, that was that political.
Even Bill Cosby?
Bill Cosby has not been discussed. That was the first moment right there, was the Bill Cosby discussion.
Okay. Listen, thank you, Danny Strong, for coming by this morning.
Yay!
Oh, it's so much fun. Thanks for having me.
Come back, man.
Please, anytime.
Home. You gotta, you're gonna be our.
Well, I live in New York, so I gotta come back.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, we gotta get your information.
Yeah.
Gotta work you for some more casting parts. All right, Danny Strong, ladies and gentlemen. Later on in the show, Cesar Millan is going to join us. Kid Rock is going to be here as well. Heather B.
Jason Ritter
is coming as well.
I hear he's a great guy, Jason Ritter.
Never met him before.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of the Ritter legacy.
Yes.
All right, Danny, thanks.
Real pleasure. So much fun, and thank you for being so great on our show.
Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I had a magnificent time joking around a lot, but Malik Yoba took me under his arm, and I've known Taraji for years, and Terrence has been by this show many times. It's the first time I really met Jesse. The cast is incredible. The workers are incredible. I sat and had lunch with some of the people who work on the show. So you guys have a great thing.
Yeah, great company. We have a great showrunner, Eileen Chaikin, and an amazing writing staff, and it's a fantastic group.
Yeah,
Good.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Danny
you.
Strong, all right?
It's Sway in the morning, only on Shea 45.